Hey there, welcome to Kaleidoscope Yoga. My name is Amber Kleid, and today in our practice, I'm going to take a little break from what I normally do, which is a slow flow practice, and we're going to do a power yoga class. Still slow, we're still going to get into all of the movements and stuff, but we're going to just try a few more power moves today. So hopefully you're up for the challenge. If you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to get water, by all means, please do. Just pause the video, come right on back. So I'd like to ask you first to begin just standing in mountain pose, maybe at the start of your mat. Go ahead and let your arms relax down. Really center into the soles of the feet. Let your shoulders relax in a nice neutral space down the back. You can close your eyes if you'd like here for a few moments. We're just going to get ourselves gathered and centered before we move into our practice today. So just find this space where you can just let yourself really relax here, letting your legs and your spine support you. And just for a few moments here, let's notice how we're feeling in our bodies today. Are you feeling a little energetic? Maybe you're even feeling a little tired. And I know when I'm feeling tired, this kind of workout, even though I begrudgingly go towards it, it makes me feel a lot better. So hopefully if that's what you're feeling, you'll feel energized at the end and ready to take on whatever needs to be done. So we're just noticing if the body's holding any tension anywhere, if anywhere feels nice and loosey-goosey. See if anything's talking to you. And if not, that's totally okay. We're just being here in this moment, noticing. Taking a nice deep breath in, sigh it out. Again, big breath in. See if we can expand through the chest here. Exhale. Inhale. And release. Good. Come back to your normal pace of breath and bring the hands to the heart space in Anjali Mudra. So thumbs are facing towards the chest, fingertips are towards your chin. And I just like to invite you to make an intention for your class today. Staying grounded, feeling peaceful, no negative thoughts, anything along those realms or anything else that you'd like. Anything that's going to help you on your little yoga journey today. Bring a little smile to the face, knowing that you're honoring your body and your soul today as we move through our practice. So with the palms together, still at heart space, pressing into the palms, really make that connection all the way from the base of the palm to the fingertips and start to draw your elbows out. And you may have been doing this already. So we're just finding a little bit more action in our arms. Spreading your fingertips out, kind of like you're like, I've got 5 of these. Spreading the fingers out. And then we're going to gently pull the palms away, drawing the wrists away from each other, keeping the fingers engaged and getting this nice little stretch through those joints in the fingers. And you're welcome to kind of move from side to side a little bit. See if any of that feels really good. And then bring it back down. Let's do that again. Just pulling those wrists away, nice and slow, and then pressing into the fingers, getting a nice little stretch through those joints. And then go ahead and bring it down again. Let's clasp the hand together, turn the palms out, and draw the hands forward. So as we do this, we're stacked from the heels all the way up the legs to the hips to the shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed. Neck should feel relaxed. So here we are pressing through the palms of the hands, getting a nice deep stretch through our forearms, maybe even feeling it to the shoulders. Now let's go ahead and just drop the head from side to side in a very mindful, slow movement. We're not cranking anything. Good. And then drawing the head back above the heart, let's bring the hands above the head and see how that shifts. And you can get a little bit deeper stretch into the triceps here. Let's take a breath in and exhale. You're going to dip to the right. And so we're looking for some space between the ribs and the hips. And then on an inhale, you're going to come back to center. And you're going to exhale to the left. Back to center. Bring it in. Exhaling to the right. Maybe this time you let your weight fall just a little bit more into that left foot so your left hip can get a deeper stretch as well. And then inhaling, connecting to your belly, and exhaling, shifting that weight into the right foot. Stretching out the right hip just a little bit more. And then inhaling, come back to center and slowly release those fingers. They might be feeling a little fatigued. So let's go ahead and just find some movement in those hands. We're going to wake those up. Going to be doing a little bit of weight bearing on the wrists today. And remember, always take a break if you need to. Go ahead and bring those arms down by your side. Good. So go ahead and just widen the stance just a little bit. And we're just going to find some gentle twists here. So go ahead and bring the hands up into our goddess arms. Taking a nice deep inhale, relaxing in the knees. Twist to your right. Slowly and gently. We're not trying to crank. Inhale back to center, connecting to that core so that you're not just, swinging your arms back and forth. We're being mindful, pulling yourself back to center on the inhale, exhaling to the right. Keep this going. Inhale and exhale. Just waking up the spine. Feels good. Getting a little bit more into the twist each time you shift. Let's do one more. To the right and to the left. And then come back to center. Good. Go ahead and relax the arms for a moment. We're going to find some shoulder circles here. So as you're doing your shoulder circles, make sure you're not trying to be like a turtle retracting into your shell. You're long in the neck, and it's the shoulders that are working, not those neck muscles. And see if you can find some big movement here. Really waking up through the shoulders. And we start to get a little bit bigger in our movement. And you might find that your breath becomes bigger, almost as if you're welcoming or summoning in all this beautiful energy. Relax the arms. Let's do it the opposite direction. So if you're going forward, go ahead and roll them back. And then slowly start to widen or make the movement a little bit larger, a little more grandiose. Got a little popping and cracking in this one. One more time, big breath in. And exhale, release. Good deal. Let's come to our the front of the mat, which you might already well be. Placing our feet down, take a nice deep inhale, fingertips to the sky, bring those palms together at heart space. Exhale, draw it down, forward fold. And even though this is going to be a little bit more of a workout, you're still welcome to use your blocks. So I actually have a little bit of low back pain, so doing a forward fold isn't the most comfortable thing for me. So this helps release tension in my back, or if you have tight hamstrings, this is another wonderful option. All right, so in this position, let's go ahead and everybody find their flat back. And we're going to take this opportunity to work through some standing cat-cows. So take a nice deep inhale, dropping the belly and letting those sits bones shift behind you so they kind of widen and open. And then exhale, rounding down, letting that tailbone relax, shoulders relax down, and then inhale, finding your cow. Exhale, finding your cat. Inhale. Last time in your cat. Good. Come back to flat back. So we're going to take our palms of our hands, and the meaty part right by the thumb is going to dig into our hip crease. We're going to hug our shoulders back, and we're going to really lengthen through the spine here. And rotate your thighs inward just a little bit. And if you're feeling tight, this is going to fire up some stuff here for sure. Release any tension in your knees. We're trying to get a little bit more into the quads, maybe even the back of the calves. 2 more breaths here. Good. Release the arms and sweep yourself into chair. Relaxing that tailbone there. Whoop. All right, shoulders are relaxed. Arms can be out in front of you or they can be up, reaching towards the sky, hugging in that low belly. And let's take a nice deep breath in. We're going to lift up, arms come down. Inhale. Or exhale, pardon me. Inhale, draw it up. And as you come up, connect to those glutes. We want to fire those glutes. If we can get those glutes to fire, keep it going. You know, that can help with low back pain. Got to get those glutes in the mix. Let's do 2 more. Breathe it in and exhale. Last time, breathe it in and exhale. I lied. We're going to come down 1 more time. Pause, find your chair. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a balancing challenge here. Come onto your left leg, reach that right leg up and step it back into your high lunge or your crescent lunge. Let those elbows open, pressing through that back heel, lifting through the chest, checking on that knee in the front, making sure it's not pushing towards your toes. Big breath in. Exhale, walk that right foot back. Go ahead and do the same with the left. We're bringing the left leg back. Opening up with those elbows, reaching the chest towards the sky, taking a big breath in. And exhale, come back to your chair. 1 more time, each side. And take your time. If you can't step back in 1 step, ain't no thing. Take your time. We're not rushing. We're building strength. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale when you're ready. Walk it forward. Last time on the left side. You've got this. I know you do. Next exhale, bring it forward, release into your forward fold, shake your legs out a little bit if you need to. Press into those heels, drop that booty down a little bit. Let's breathe it up. Exhale, swan dive into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release the hands down to the earth. Right foot's gonna come back. Right hand down to the ground. Inhale, left hand to the sky. Pressing through that back heel. You can drop your hips down a little bit more if that feels good. If you need to, drop that back knee. All right, exhaling, bringing left hand down to the ground. Bring that right foot up just a little bit. We're going to straighten out that front left leg, your front leg. And you can use blocks if you want to here. We're going to straighten out that leg, take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to bring it back down. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, release. 2 more. And you're coming up onto your toes, lifting that back heel. Last time. And coming back into your low lunge here. We're going to go ahead and take a nice deep breath in, bringing the hands to the sky. And take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, tap that knee down. Inhale, press that heel back. Exhale, knee to the ground. Inhale, press that heel out. Exhale, press out that heel. Last time, as a matter of fact, keep it down. Drop to that knee. Whew. Bring those palms together. We're going to twist. Take a prayer twist to your left. Take a little break here. Find length through the spine. Breathing deeply if you need to. Finding that connection between the palms of the hands, sending that left elbow towards the sky. On your next inhale, come forward. Bring the fingertips to the sky, finding your crescent lunge. Exhaling, hands down to the ground. Turn that back toe under and bring that right foot forward, finding your forward fold. Again, shaking your legs out a little bit, giving them some love if they need it. Good. All right, keep your blocks handy if you want to use them in pyramid pose. Let's drop the heels down, booty comes down a little bit. Inhale, draw yourself all the way up. Exhale, swan dive, bring it down, forward fold. And we're going to bring our left leg back this time. Bringing your blocks with you if you want to use them. And then when you're ready, we're going to take an inhale, straighten out the leg. And exhale back into your lunge. Press through that back heel. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Take a nice big breath in. Fingertips come up to the sky. Relax those shoulders. Make sure that you feel steady and secure in your stance before you move into this next move. When you're ready, taking an inhale and exhale, dropping that back knee down. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, straighten it out. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, 2 more. Drop the knee. Inhale up. And this time, go ahead and leave that knee down on the ground. Bring those hands together and exhale into your prayer twist. Palms together, long, strong and long through the spine. Take an inhale, draw your chest forward, fingertips to the sky. And exhale, hands down to the mat. Let's go ahead and release our right foot back. And for a few moments, we're just going to take a break here. So bring those toes together, sink your hips back, arms come forward, rest your head to the ground or a block or a blanket. Two more breaths. And when you're ready, pressing into the palms, drawing yourself up and forward. Come to tabletop position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And just go ahead and find a little bit of movement here in the palms. So just lifting the palms up off the floor, just kind of getting some movement in there. You can actually walk your hands around and then pressing into the wrists, finding a nice little stretch through the inner part of the arm here. And then walk it back. Just doing the best that you can. I know not everybody has the mobility to turn their fingers towards their knees, exorcist style. So just do what you can. Be careful. Don't push anything. And we're going to do a couple of cat-cows here before we move into our next little series. So taking a nice deep inhale, dropping belly down, gaze to the sky, hips are open. And exhale, release, rounding through the spine, pressing through the palms of the hands. Inhale, dropping the belly. Keep that movement going, just enjoying the sensations. Good. After your last cat, your next cat, go ahead and come into neutral position. We're going to draw our hands out in front of us. We're going to turn our toes under and we're going to make our way into our downward facing dog. So gently pressing into the inner wrist, connecting more to that thumb and your fingertips. You're going to kind of hollow out the belly by drawing it in towards your spine, lifting the hip up. You can drop your heels down. You can walk the dog if you want. Heels can or cannot touch, or may not touch the ground. That's fine. Checking in on your shoulders. You know, if you feel like you've got too much weight that you're bearing, play around with pulling the arms a little bit closer to each other, maybe widening them out, making sure that we've got a little external rotation happening in the upper shoulders. All right, so once you feel safe and secure, let's take a nice deep inhale and we're going to pull the belly into the spine again and we're going to roll forward into plank. Take an inhale, find your upward facing dog. Turn those toes back under. Exhale, find your down dog. We're going to do this a few times, nice and slow. Inhale. Initiating into your plank. Exhale. Inhale into your up dog. Turn those toes under. Exhale. Now, if you want to incorporate a chaturanga into this, please be my guest. I don't do them. They don't feel good on my shoulder, so I'm not going to teach them. But if it's something that you would like to try and do, by all means, please go for it. Exhale. Let's do one more. Big inhale, rotating forward. Exhale, upward facing dog. Turn those toes under, come back into your downward facing dog. Good. All right, taking a nice deep inhale. We're going to draw the right leg up and exhale, right knee, right shoulder. Inhale, draw it up. We're only going to do 3 of these on this side. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, draw the leg up and open up the hips. So stack your hips, pointing that right foot, dropping into that left heel just a little bit more, maybe rotating through the ankle. And then go ahead and bring that right leg down. We're going to take just a little break here. Drop to the knees. If you can curl your toes under, go ahead and do that. Really good to stretch the soles of the feet. And just take a moment and breathe. I'm already feeling a little winded. And just rotate through your wrists, giving them a little bit of love, maybe offering up a gentle squeeze into the forearms. Into the palms. Yeah, just taking a second out for a little extra special attentiveness here. All right, let's head on back. Palms to the ground. Inhale, find your downward facing dog. We won't be here nearly as long as we were. Drop that right heel. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, bring it up. Knee to elbow. Go ahead and bring it up one last time. Let's stack that left hip on top of the right, dropping the right heel to the ground, rotating through the left heel this time. And on your next exhale, go ahead and bring it down to meet the right foot, and you're going to walk your feet to the front of the mat, finding that forward fold. And you can just shake your wrists out a little bit. You can clasp your elbows if you'd like as you hang down just a little. And just breathe. You can rock your head gently from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a nice deep inhale, draw ourselves up into standing. Fingertips together up top, and just exhale, hands to heart space. Let's just take a few moments here. Settling in our space. Noticing our breath. Maybe you can feel your heart beating at this point. One more breath here. And then we're just going to turn and take a wide stance on your mat. So nice and wide. Toes are pointed out, heels are in. And we're going to come back to those goddess arms. And we're going to find a nice little comfortable, she says, squat. So please just make sure that you're wide enough that you're not doing this. The wider you are, the more stable you're going to feel. And it's going to protect your knees. So we're going to lengthen up through the spine, come back to those goddess arms. And we're going to take a nice deep inhale. We're going to reach those hands to the sky, press into the heels. We're connecting to the inner thighs and our glutes. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift it up, squeezing those glutes. And as you exhale, drawing the shoulder blades together, activating those back muscles. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring it down. Two more. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, come to your squat position. Turning that tailbone under just a little bit. Opening through the chest. feeling the burn. Whew. All right, inhale, exhale, right elbow to right thigh, towards it. You don't have to touch it. Inhale, connect to that core, draw yourself to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center, and exhale to the right. Inhale, center, and exhale to the left. Let's just do one more each side. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how much more of this my thighs can handle. Come back to center, release the arms, stand up. Woo, heel toe those feet together. Shake it out. And then let's go ahead and come on back to the front of the mat. Placing those feet down. Take a big breath in, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, float it down. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale down. Right foot's gonna come back. Left foot's gonna come back. We find our plank. Now remember, you've always got the option to come to your knees. So, wrists underneath our shoulders. We're hollowing out that belly. We're pulling in that core, and we're zipping up through the ribs. And all we're going to do is tap our shoulders. You don't have to go fast. Matter of fact, don't go fast because I don't want you to knock yourself off balance. Right hand, left shoulder. Left hand, right shoulder. Keep it going. If you want to speed it up just a little bit, you can. Just make sure that your hips aren't rocking from side to side. You may decide that you want to widen the distance between your feet. That could help. Keeping that belly tucked in. Taking a break if you need to. Enjoying the burn. All right, one more time, each side. Good. Go ahead and come to your knees. Take a child's pose. Feeling the chest broaden as you inhale and soften as you exhale. Take a nice deep inhale, draw yourself back into your tabletop position. And we're going to go ahead and roll onto our backs. So go ahead and rest back, and we're going to take our left foot, cross it over our right knee. And you're going to draw that right knee in. Take your hands, loop them around your right thigh, and then draw that right knee towards you. So you're going to hopefully get a nice little stretch on the left hip, left thigh. Do me a favor and spread your left toes, drawing that pinky toe kind of down towards the floor. Relaxing your tailbone and relaxing your shoulders. Good. And just breathe. If you have the flexibility, you can always draw your hand to the right underneath your knee instead of underneath your thigh. That can give a little bit deeper stretch here. And notice if you are holding any tension, especially through the legs, and relax if you can. All right, go ahead and release the hands nice and slow. Right foot to the ground. And left foot to the ground. Coming into our bridge. Soles of the feet down. So we're going to do a different bridge. We're going to really work our hamstrings here. So we're going to take an inhale and start to roll the hip points up just like we do in bridge for the first one, and exhale down. Walk your feet out a couple of inches away from your booty. Take an inhale, draw yourself up, and we're trying to keep our knees and thighs fairly close together. Roll it down. Few more inches, creep those toes away from you, and inhale, up you come, and exhale, release. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Bring those feet back. So we're going to come into bridge again, but we're only going to lift with our right foot. Left leg is going to come towards the ceiling. So when you're ready, pressing into the sole of the right foot, letting your shins move forward, contract that glute. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale down. 3 more. Inhale, lift it up. And exhale down. 1 more, lift. And release. Go ahead and release that left leg. Right ankle is going to cross over left knee and bring the hands to clasp around the thigh or right underneath your knee, just kind of depending on where your flexibility is today. And then please make sure you're spreading your toes nice and wide, protect the knee, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the tailbone, and just breathe. Go ahead and release the hands, left foot down to the ground, right foot down to the ground. Let's do that series through our bridge again. So bring those soles of the feet together, kind of zip up through the thighs. And as you're ready, your hip points start to lift on an inhale. Rolling up through the spine to the shoulders, and then exhaling, rolling down. Let those feet creep a few inches away from your bottom. Again, inhaling, still pressing into the soles of the feet. And we're going to recruit those glutes again and release it down. Creep just a few more inches. Nice deep inhale, lift and lower, exhale. Last time, creep those feet away. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, bring it down. Bring the feet back to center. Lifting up the right leg this time. Pressing into the left foot. Inhale and lift and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Lift and lower. Just 2 more. You got it. Press into the sole of the foot. Last time, lift it up and exhale. Go ahead and release the foot down. Bring those soles of the feet together. Let the knees relax out to the side. If you want, you can bring your hands to your belly or to your heart space. And we're just going to rest here for a moment. Letting our legs breathe a little bit here. 2 more breaths. Maybe coming back to that intention that you set earlier in the practice. Just checking in. No judgment. Go ahead and draw the knees together. And we're going to make our way into our boat pose. So drawing yourself up. Coming to the center of the mat, removing the little fleshy parts out from underneath the bottom. Connecting the belly into the spine. And we're going to lift the legs up. So you can stay here if you'd like and just hold. This is plenty. You can release the hands and you can straighten the legs out. So a couple of different options here. We are going to find a little bit of movement. So taking an inhale, we're going to release the feet away from the head, not coming to the ground, and breathe it in, come up. Exhale, or breathe it out, sorry. Breathe it in. Good. So if you can, bring the hands maybe behind the head. And this time, we're going to come up and left elbow, right knee. Right elbow, left knee. Connecting to the core. If you need to, you can bring the feet down to the ground and just lift the knees from there. Do what you can. One more time, each side. Good. Go ahead and relax back, drawing those knees into center. Go ahead and find some big circles with the legs. Go ahead and take your knees and we're just going to roll them to the right. And then open up through the chest to a place that feels comfortable to you. And just kind of surrendering to this twist, letting your body fully and completely relax as best as you can. You might decide to close your eyes here. Take 2 more breaths. And then as you're ready, engaging in the belly, drawing your knees back to center. Give those knees a little hug. Find a gentle rock from side to side. And then as you're ready, we're just going to rotate the knees off to the left this time. Finding spaciousness through the chest, opening the right arm to the side. And if you find that doing these twists kind of irritate your low back, you can put a block or a pillow or a blanket in between your knees. And that will help find a little relief. And just find your breath. connecting to that which serves us. Our precious breath. Take a few more breaths. And then as you're ready, engage the belly. Roll yourself back to center. You're going to go ahead and draw those knees in one last time, resetting the spine, giving them a little hug. Maybe exhaling as you hug the knees in, inhaling, pushing the knees away. And then we're going to rock into a seated position. So if you feel that you need a blanket to sit on or a block to sit on, it's totally up to you. I do like sitting on a block just because my legs tend to be a little bit tighter. Makes it more comfortable for me to sit. You can sit any way you'd like. You don't have to sit cross-legged. And I'll ask that you just find your the length in your spine. So lifting through the crown of the head. Taking a nice deep breath in. I have a mysterious cramp happening here. Not sure what's going on. Pardon me. Keep breathing. Just settling yourself down. Let the shoulders relax. Close the eyes if that feels good. And let's just take a moment to kind of see and feel what's happening in our bodies right now. Again, we come back to noticing the heart. Checking in on the heart rate. And just kind of noticing how you're feeling compared to when you began your practice just a little while ago. And again, we're not holding any judgments. You may feel tired. You may feel energized. I mean, the pendulum can swing really to either direction. Just be proud of yourself that you came to practice today. I'm proud of you. It's not always easy to get on your mat. But I'm glad you did. So we're just going to come and bring our hands unfolded on our thighs. And we're just going to do a little meditation here to close out today. And it's peace begins with me. You can say it out loud or you can say it to yourself. When you say peace, thumb to pointer finger, begins, thumb to middle finger, with, thumb to ring finger, me, thumb to pinky. So taking a nice deep inhale. Peace begins with me. Breathe in. Peace begins with me. Let the breath fully release. Breathe in. Peace begins with me. Release. Inhale, big breath in. Peace begins with me. Exhale. One more time. See if you can pinpoint that breath at the base of the spine and breathe in all the way up the back. Peace begins with me. let that energy cascade down the front of your body. You can kind of wiggle your fingers a little bit if you'd like. Let's bring our palms together, give them a little bit of love by creating some gentle heat here. Breathing in, creating this energy. A few more breaths. And then come to pause, drawing the palms about a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch away from each other, and see if you can feel that energy. And then place your hands on your heart space. Peace begins with me. You can stay here for as long as you'd like. Again, thank you so much for joining me in today's practice. If you ever have any questions or suggestions or thoughts, you can always reach out to me. Let's bring our hands to our third eye, palms together, Anjali Mudra. Peace begins with me. Namaste.